everyone, I'm Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. We often hear that education is a fundamental right in India. Under Article 21A, the government is supposed to provide free and compulsory education for children from the age 6 to age 14. The new education policy even wants to expand this age from age 3 to age 80. But here is the million rupee question. If it's free, if the education is free, why are families struggling so hard to pay for it? Today, we are looking at the latest data from the NSS 80th round survey to see the real cost of the schooling in India. Let's check. First, let's look at where our children are studying. Nationally, about 55.9% of the students are in government schools. But as kids get older, the trend shifts. The first aspect is the urban-rural divide. In cities, private schools are the big players. About 51.4% of urban students are in private schools when compared to only 24.3% in rural areas. The shift to private institution. As students move from primary to secondary school, many of them are moving into private institutions. In urban areas, the private school enrollment jumps from roughly to 50% in the primary level and to over 55% in the middle school level. Why does this matter? Because private education comes with a much heavier price tag. Let's talk numbers. Do students have to pay any fees? In government schools, most of the students do not have to pay fees. Only about 25% of rural government students and 34% of urban government students are reported paying fees. But what about private schools? Nearly 96% to 98% of students are paying up the fees. And what's the financial burden in rural schools? Monthly costs range from about 1,495 rupees for pre-primary to 2,797 rupees for higher secondary. The financial burden in urban schools is much steeper, ranging from 2,182 rupees to 4,089 rupees per month. For the poorest 5% of households, the cost of a private higher secondary education is almost equal to their entire monthly income. Imagine that, an entire month's earnings just for one child's school fee. Even if you are in a free school, you might still be paying. Why? Private tuition. This has become a massive shadow industry in India. As students move to the higher levels of education, the reliance on coaching classes is like skyrockets. At the higher secondary level, about 44.6% of students are taking private tuitions. The cost of schooling in urban areas, families spend an average of about 22,394 per year just on coaching for higher secondary students. And the prestige factor. Sadly, private tuition has become a symbol of prestige among some families, even though many tutors are underpaid or underqualified. What does this mean? It means we have a growing gap. Wealthy families can afford the best schools and the best coaching, giving their children a massive head start. And children from economically disadvantaged backgrounds are being pushed out of the race because they can't afford the extras. Research shows that the better educated parents are more likely to invest in private tutoring, creating a cycle where Privilege just keeps building on itself. This itself is threatening the very principle of the basic and universal education. So, what's the fix? The experts suggest that we need to strengthen our publicly funded schools. If government schools offer high quality education, families won't feel forced to spend their entire life savings on private alternatives or extra tuitions. Education should be a right, not a privilege reserved for those who can pay. Thanks for joining me today. What are your thoughts on the rising cost of education? Have you ever felt this burden in your own family? I'm Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. Stay informed and keep learning.